Hey everyone, before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more heartfelt stories like this one. For as long as I can remember, I thought my husband Daniel was unshakable, the kind of man whose calm presence could steady any storm. He wasn't loud or showy, but there was something about the quiet confidence in his smile that made you feel safe. He was the anchor in my life, patient, grounded, dependable. For 10 years, I believed nothing could shake what we had. Then came that Friday night. A small dinner party with close friends, warm lighting, soft laughter, the kind of evening that feels effortless. 6 of us gathered around the table, wine glasses glinting, stories flowing. The conversation drifted to relationships, and soon, everyone was tossing out playful jabs about married life, who snores loudest, who forgets chores, who spends too much time on their phone. It was all in good fun. I'd had just enough wine to feel bold. When our friend Clara joked that she sometimes wanted to trade her husband for someone who actually listened, I laughed and blurted out, "Maybe we should swap. You can take mine, and I'll take someone who remembers anniversaries." The table laughed, but it was that uneasy kind of laughter, the one that fills silence rather than genuine amusement. I looked at Daniel, expecting him to roll his eyes or smirk like he always did when I teased him. But he didn't. His expression froze, the warmth draining from his face. And then he said quietly, "Maybe you should." The sound of forks touching plates cut through the silence. My heart sank. I tried to smile, to pretend it was nothing. "Hey, come on," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "I was just kidding." But Daniel didn't say a word. He turned back to his food, and the table's laughter faded into awkward small talk. The drive home was unbearable. No music, no words. Just the sound of tires on the road, and the weight of everything unspoken. Normally, Daniel would crack a joke, say something to break the tension. But that night, he didn't even glance my way. When we got home, I tried to fix it. "Daniel, please," I said softly. "It was just a dumb joke." Everyone was laughing. He stared at me for a long time before replying. "Emma, people joke about what they really feel. That's something I've learned." Then he brushed past me and went to bed. I lay awake for hours, his words looping in my mind. People joke about what they secretly feel. It gnawed at me. Was there truth buried in that joke? Maybe there was. Lately, something between us had felt different, not broken, just dulled. The conversations shorter, the laughter rarer, the little touches fading. Maybe I had turned that quiet ache into humor because it was easier than admitting we were drifting apart. The following days were heavy with silence. Daniel wasn't cold or cruel, just distant. He went about his routine as if I wasn't there. By the 4th night, I couldn't take it anymore. I stood in the doorway of his study, watching him work, and whispered, "Please, don't shut me out like this." It was a stupid thing to say. He finally looked up, eyes steady and tired. "It's not that you said it," he said. "It's that it didn't sound like a joke." His words hit me harder than I expected because he was right. Not about wanting someone else, but about the quiet resentment that had built between us, the kind that hides behind sarcasm and laughter. I'd been keeping score without realizing it, counting the things he forgot instead of the things he did right. The next morning, he left early. No kiss, no goodbye, just the sound of the door closing behind him. The house felt emptier than ever. By afternoon, I texted him, "Can we talk tonight?" He didn't reply. When he came home that evening, he looked tired. Not angry, just worn out, like someone carrying a weight he'd been holding for too long. "Before you say anything," he began, "I've been thinking about what you said that night. About swapping. It made me realize you've been comparing me to someone I'm not for a long time. You used to see me, really see me. Now, you only see what I don't do right." I wanted to argue, to defend myself, but the words died on my tongue. Because he was right. I had been focusing on everything missing instead of everything we still had. He continued, voice soft but steady. "You joke about trading me away, but it stopped being funny when I started feeling like you already had emotionally." That shattered me. My throat tightened, tears welling. "I didn't mean it, Daniel. I swear I didn't." He nodded gently. "I know you didn't mean the words. but they came from somewhere real. We've both stopped showing up for each other. We sat there in silence. The clock ticked, loud and merciless. Finally, I whispered, "Do you still love me?" He gave a small, sad smile. "I do. But I've also learned to love myself enough to know when something's not right anymore." That night, I cried alone in the kitchen, holding a mug of cold tea. His words echoed over and over, "When something's not right anymore." The following week passed in a blur of distance and forced normalcy. We lived together but felt worlds apart. One evening, I caught him looking at our wedding photo, the one where we were laughing, so full of joy. His eyes looked heavy, a mix of nostalgia and surrender. I approached him. "Daniel, please. I can't lose you over one mistake."
He sighed.
"It's not one mistake, Emma. It's all the little things underneath it. The laughter that feels forced, the distance we keep pretending isn't there." His tone wasn't harsh. It was heartbreakingly calm. I reached for his hand, trembling. "Then let's stop pretending," I whispered. "Let's try again. No jokes, no walls." He didn't pull away. His thumb brushed over my wrist, soft and uncertain. "I don't know if we can go back," he said quietly, "but maybe we can go forward." That night, we talked for hours. For the first time in months, we were honest about the loneliness, the missteps, the ways we'd both stopped trying. Nothing was magically fixed, but there was a fragile piece in the truth we finally shared. Weeks later, we started rebuilding, piece by piece. Evening walks, cooking dinner together, small laughter that didn't hide pain but healed it instead. Every glance, every quiet smile felt like a promise that he was still here, still trying. But sometimes when we're with friends and someone cracks a careless joke about marriage, I still feel that familiar ache. I remember that night, the silence that followed my words, and the lesson that came with it. Because Daniel's silence taught me something I'll never forget. Humor can disguise pain, but it can also deepen it. Words meant for a laugh can pierce deeper than anger ever could. Now, when Daniel forgets something or makes a mistake, I don't reach for sarcasm or a cutting remark. I reach for his hand instead. Because I've learned that love isn't kept alive by jokes or teasing. It's built through kindness, understanding, and the courage to speak honestly before the silence between you becomes too loud to break.